Awesome. So, things that we can use today for our wall yoga class. A ball. It should have, a little bit of bounce to it. You can even just start with a couple of those. Kind of get yourself centered. And I could try it one-handed. You can try it with the other hand, one-handed. This is not a very bouncy ball, but that's okay. I'm also bouncing on carpeting. But what if I try to switch hands? Maybe one more. Woo! And then let's bring the ball to the chest. And I'm going to use this wall behind me. Okay, line up your hips. So maybe the heels aren't exactly against the wall so that you can feel your hips come back. And perhaps we can bring the breath down into the ribs and start to feel the ribs come back, the shoulders draw up and back, maybe the head comes back. And with the ball on the chest, we could feel kind of a diagonal breath, as though it could come out through come into the back lower lobes of the lungs and also into the chest, kind of in that nice diagonal motion. And helping us keep good posture. We'll just take a few more breaths. You can breathe in through the nose. And let's blow out through the lips. And just think about engaging from the lower gut a little bit. Two more. Last one. Now, inhale. Hold it. Lift your chest. See if your head comes back to the wall a little bit more. And then release it. Breathe in again and hold it. Give the ball a little squeeze. Gotta draw your shoulders in. Release it. So now I'm going to take the ball and actually bring it behind me. And I want to have it above my tailbone, below my lower back. If it was a bigger ball, it would just cover more surface area. So don't worry about the size of the ball. Maybe having a little bit of bounce will mean more even later. But for now, just a surface between my body and the wall. And I'm trying to rise over my feet again. So don't have your feet far out in front of you. Feel like you're standing in your legs. Your legs are plugged into the floor. And your hips are over the front of your ankles. And you can feel the breath moving into the back lower lobes of the lungs, into the chest. And you can feel that your head is over the shoulders, right? Your ears are over the shoulders. Now I'm going to start with just a very small movement. I'm going to kind of swing my hips. So my knees are bent a little bit, and I'm going to feel the ball behind me. So I'm letting my hips move side to side. And I want to feel like I'm not rotating. So I'm keeping equal pressure against the ball throughout the movement, right? I'm swinging my pelvis side to side, trying to keep the ball against the body, keep an even amount of pressure across the pelvis, right? So now when you kind of swing to the side, you might feel like it's a little bit like you de-emphasize your weight in one foot, and you might be able to pick that heel up. So if I swing just a little bit to my left, my right knee can kind of bend and my right heel comes up. And if my feet are really narrow, it's not a big movement. In fact, it's a much smaller swing. So what if we narrow the feet and make it so that you're right on top of your feet, still stacked, hips ribs, head. But as you bend one knee and then the other, your feet are so narrow, the shift is just minimal, right? So I can kind of even keep my feet relatively narrow to challenge myself a little bit more, to keep a sense of integrity and stability. Right, and if I kind of become aware of my right foot, there's a little shift, but can I take my left foot off the ground and then lower it down? And I'm gonna do the same side again. I'm gonna make a little shift to the right. I'm gonna take my left foot up and then I'm gonna lower it down. Let's do it one more time. I'm gonna plant both feet for a second and then I'm gonna shift to the right and pick that left leg up. Let's see if we can hold it there for a moment. Just breathe, one breath, and then go ahead and slowly step into the foot. Bring in both feet for a moment. And if my feet are narrow, then I can keep a minimal shift, right? Then I'm gonna start to bend into my right knee. I'm gonna pick up that other leg, right? And then I'm gonna lower it down and I'm gonna put weight into it again. And maybe there's a sense of returning to a vertical center. And then I can let my weight shift. I can pick my leg up. And then I can lower it back down. And I want to make sure the ball stays in good space, right? I want to keep a little bit of pressure into the ball. And one more time, picking that leg up, see if you can hold it. And then lower it down. So now I'm gonna bring the ball higher, right? This feels kind of nice. It's like I get a little massage. Now I'm gonna bring the ball as high as I can to my middle back, okay? So I'm gonna bring it to that middle back area. And once again, I'm kind of upright over my feet. And now I'm gonna find a focal point. So just look straight ahead. But now I want you to imagine, as you plug your feet into the floor, that you're gonna let your chest rotate and kind of cross the room. So if I was wearing, a button-up shirt, my buttons would be crossing the room, right? If they were sequins, I could see the sequins coming across the room. This is much more of a rotation, right? My arms are simply passing alongside my body. My legs stay plugged in. I'm just creating a little bit of movement through the upper back, getting a nice twist. And my head's not moving, which is actually challenging. My head tends to want to get pulled one direction or the other. And then you can relax for a moment. Take the ball out. So plugging the legs into the floor, let's bring the ball into, let's say, your right hand. I'll turn so you can see. I'm going to move the ball behind my body, circling it around my hips. I'm going to bend my knees, and then as I circle the ball, I'm going to slowly straighten my legs or press down to rise up. The knees might not totally straighten, right? So I just push down, rise up, lift from the abdomen, circle the ball back. I like to inhale and circle it back. Good. Now, if we wanted to do a little bit of balancing here, right? What if we explore just picking up one heel? So as I circle the ball back, I feel a little shift to my left, and I lift my right heel. You come through center, and then try it again. Shift left, pick up the right heel, and then return to center. Shift left, pick up that right heel. And we'll try it the other way. Maybe we can actually switch directions just for fun. All right, so if I'm switching directions in my circle, I'm still feeling that shift. This time I'm shifting to the right, and I'm picking up my left heel. And last one. All right, bring the ball in front of you. Step your right foot back a little bit, right? And you can actually have your feet wide for more stability. Okay, take the ball into your right hand again. And I want you to bring your right hand to your left hip, okay? So I just brought it across my body. And I'm going to keep my left hand on my hip or on my thigh, so it's just sort of staying there. And we're going to open to the right and then cross back to the hip. Open towards your back leg and then cross to the front leg. Open to the back, cross to the front. Breathe when you need to breathe. Just make sure that you are breathing. I'm getting a little rotation, a little bit of balance because the legs are staggered. One more. Now I want you to bring the ball to your chest, okay? And I want you to become aware of your right leg, and you're gonna lift your right heel up and feel like your chest comes into the ball, and there's a little shift to the left, right? I'm lifting up into the ball, and I'm shifting my weight into my left foot. So depending on how wide my feet were, could be bigger, could be smaller. Keep your head behind the ball. Keep the chin tucked towards the throat, the head behind the ball. You're lifting your right heel, lowering it. And then step your right foot to meet your left foot. Bring the ball into your left hand. I'm actually going to turn around so you can see me. I like being able to face this way. So step the left foot back. The left hand is holding the ball. But let's bring the left hand across the body to the right hip, to the opposite hip. And then I'm going to rotate to the left and then cross the ball in front of the body to the right. And just breathe when you need to breathe. I like to inhale and open to the left. One more. Now bring your hand to your chest and see if you can draw your head behind the ball. Lift your back heel and lower it. Rise up into the ball as you shift just slightly over that right leg, over your front leg. I'm just lifting and lowering the heel. Try to keep your head behind the ball. I notice my head wanting to creep forward, so I'm going to keep my chin down to my throat. I'm going to keep my head behind the ball, looking forward at the horizon. Eyes open, right, to help with balance. And then slowly stepping the left foot forward. And meet your right foot. And take the ball. Let's bring it behind you again. So I'm going to let my hips come against the wall. My feet are slightly forward so that I'm angled into the ball, right? But I still feel like I'm upright through the torso. My head's back, my shoulders back, hips, ribs, head are stacked. If my feet are really wide, then I'm going to have more of a swing, right? If my feet are a little bit narrower, it's a little bit smaller, right? It feels a little bit more stable. So I'm going to start to alternate sides. I'm going to let my arms actually swing a little bit as well. Feeling for that little bit of a swing in the pelvis. So I'm going to focus on my right leg. So my right knee is going to bend as I shift my weight to the left. And then I'm going to push down into my right foot again. And then I'm going to shift to the left, my right knee bends. And maybe after I've tried a few, just bending the right knee, then I'll be able to take my right leg up and see if I can even bring a little rotation, right? I don't have too much room to rotate, but I might see if I can swing my pelvis, or swing my chest a little bit. All right, see if we can do one more. Hold the wall with your back hand, cross the front hand to the knee, lift the chest, and then release it. Now, once again, I got to angle back into the ball. If I just do the little shift, my knees, both of them kind of bend a little bit so I can just do the shift. And then if I let my arms kind of start to swing, as I shift to the right, the left arm comes forward. Oh, no, I had it backwards. I have to be very aware. One side's so different than the other. So as I shift to the right, my left knee is going to start to, or my left heel rather, is going to start to come up. So I'm going to start to feel a little bit more a de-emphasis in that left leg. And my right arm is going to start to come forward. And I'm going to let them swing a little bit as I shift weight out of the left foot and then return it to the floor. Right? And feeling, whatever you're feeling is the most important piece of it. Right? There's not a wrong thing to experience here. We're just working towards the trial and error of finding what is stability. So my hips are swinging, am I rotating in my ribs at all? Can I let my left foot lift off the floor? And my right arm reaches forward. And I'm trying to keep my eyes straight in front. And try to feel for that shift through the pelvis, that rotation, through the ribs. How a focal point helps. Can we pick the left leg up? Hold it. My hand is back against the wall. My front hand is crossing to the knee. And then release it. Maybe we just do one last little shift side to side. And then bringing the ball forward. You are away from the wall. You can kind of find that stability. Breathe in through the nose. Exhale, engage your lower gut where the ball is, right? Just feel it draw in. Inhale, you could relax a little bit. Exhale, blow out through the lips, engage the belly. Good, all right. Now, I'm going to invite you to take the ball between your ankles, and you're going to turn to face towards the wall, right? Or, you can have one hand on the wall. That's what I'll do today. So you can have two hands or one hand on the wall. I'm holding the ball with my ankles, right? And I'm going to try to stay as upright as possible. So there is a little shift forward onto the ball of the foot, but I want to still feel like I'm maintaining a vertical posture throughout, right? And I like to take one hand up the wall, or in this case, it's just out in front of me. And sometimes that kind of counterweight helps me feel more of the vertical line, right? So now if I had one hand on the wall, I'm going to switch sides. If you've got two hands on the wall, that's fine. Just keep going. And just lift and lower the heels. And again, try to find where is that vertical place. And maybe we let one arm come up and away from the wall a little bit, or just de-emphasize one hand. And when the heels come down, take the ball out. Now I'm going to take one leg. I'm going to turn my knee and toes towards the wall. And I'm going to bring the ball between my knee and the wall. I'm just gonna kind of stretch into that Achilles tendon. And then I'll try it to the other side. So now I'll turn my knee and toes towards the wall. My ball is gonna end up kind of below the knee, between my knee and the wall. And then I'm gonna turn towards the wall, push into the wall a little bit. And then I'm gonna bring my hips to the wall, and I'm gonna take the ball underneath the ball of my right foot. My left foot can be a little bit closer to the wall. My hips are against the wall. My right toes are elevated on the ball. Hands back to the wall. Slowly fold. And then coming back up. I'm gonna switch feet. I'm gonna take my other toes over the top of the ball. My heel is on the ground. I have one foot back, right? So I've got my right leg back. My hips are back against the wall. And then I'm gonna fold. And come back up. And then let's take the ball above the knees towards the inner thighs. Gently press down and out into the feet. Breathe into the back lower lobes of the lungs. Breathe into the chest. Good. Take one more nice deep breath. Taking the ball out, sit back against the wall. Walk your feet forward and then take the ball back between the legs. So now I'm kind of leaning against the wall in almost a chair-like position. And I might slide down just a little deeper. Give the ball a squeeze, shoulders back. Press your feet down and out. Press your tailbone back into the wall. Breathe into the ribs. Maybe you go just a little bit deeper for a few more seconds, a few more breaths. And instead of coming out right away, bring your shoulders, your hands back to the wall. Press the ball forward. Lift your hips away from the wall. And then go ahead and roll back down. Think one vertebrae at a time, coming down through the lower back. Plug the tailbone back in. Your thighs should be burning. And then start to press the knees forward. Push the ball away from the wall. Press your hips away from the wall. Come up onto the back of your shoulders or ribs. And then roll back down. All the way to the tailbone. Pressing the tailbone back into the wall. One more time, giving the ball a nice squeeze. And rolling back down, all the way through the middle back, lower back, tailbone. And then keeping the tailbone against the wall, I kind of am inchworming my way back up. Climbing my tailbone up the wall. And then walking the feet closer to the wall. I'll give my legs a little shake. So we'll have a little bit more fun with the ball next week. We'll be doing a little bit more bouncing, but that was just a little bit of exercise using the ball, the wall, exploring yoga posture practice, yoga consciousness, and just taking a nice deep breath. Bring the ball to the top of the head. Rise up nice and tall. Bring the ball to the chest. Take a deep breath. Bringing the ball onto the belly, that lower abdomen. Take one more nice deep breath. And just being in a place of gratitude for all that you are, for all of your efforts today to bring yourself to balance. Let's take one more nice breath. Have a great day. Thanks.